and this little episode of it's not really even an episode of WoTC Academy. It's more of just, hey, my thoughts on modern armor. Yes, this is long overdue. This is because I was without a capture card for a month. So yeah, bit of an issue. Anyway, I got modern armor stuff going on here in the background, so yeah. Anyway, my thoughts on it, I'm kind of like in a mixed bag here. It's like I don't like it, but at the same time, I kind of like it. More of the tanks, really. Uh, Now, of course, um, I've never been a fan of True Vision. I understand why they put it in. It's just because of the long range and everything like that. Granted, that's kind of my main issue with it. I'm not a fan of the True Vision. I feel like this mode could have been perfectly fine if they decided to just keep it the regular Vision mode. I mean, it already feels like, it's kind of campy at the beginning, and then it just straight up returns to normal. So, me personally, it's like, why bother then? Let's just put in the normal mode. I mean, the smokes and the rep kits and stuff seem to behave regardless of whether it's close quarters or far away. I mean, you can see here that this game, it's kind of developed into like everyone's spotted except for extremely far away. Now, so yeah, that's mainly my issue on the game mode, on the core of the game. It's that vision mechanic. I'm not a big fan of it. I feel like a regular vision could have been, perfectly fine. The new consumables. I'm liking the smoke. There are times in World War II where I go to deploy the smoke and I'm like, shoot, I really wish I had this. So I wish it would come into World War II mode. Patch kits, not as bad as I think people think. It's a little bit tricky when it's like, you whittled someone down and then all of a sudden you start seeing their numbers tick back up and then you just feel like, oh, that's annoying. But to those that use it, I'm sure that they're like, this is a godsend. Thank God. I don't know why everyone freaking panicked and went rage mode 3 years ago. I mean, World of Warships Legends has it, and you don't really see anyone complaining about it because they're kind of limited to certain ships. But, I mean, again, that's a completely different aspect, completely different game. But, I don't think they're as bad at this point. Tanks, I'm not going to complain about lack of content. I'm going to be completely honest. I mean, when the game actually first released many years ago, there was like 3 trees out there. I mean, we had like nothing by those standards at the time compared to what PC had. We had like nothing. Excuse me. So I'm not really, I'm not upset about that. Of course, another thing I'm not really a fan of regarding the tanks is I'm not really a fan of Détente era, the post-war era, all these things. There's only really, out of everything we have right now, there's only one tank I want, and that is the T-62. And at the time of recording this, there's only one premium tank I want, and that is the T-62M-1. Pretty much the modern version of the T-62. As you notice, I'm really a big fan of the T-62 family. That and the T10 family. Anyway, other than that, I don't like going that high. You're not going to see me be playing, at least on streams or anything, that high in the aspect. Speaking of the other tanks, the one thing I don't really like is that pretty much there's no point keeping anything but the absolute top tier of those eras. I mean, air quotes there in terms of tiers, because let's be honest, the only tanks you're going to keep per each era is going to be like the M48A5, the Object 165, aka T62A, the T72 something, and the M60A3, and then obviously the M1A2 and the T72 something else. You know what I mean with this. I'd stopped counting the acronym number variants of the T72. Don't care. So yeah. Not a whole lot in terms of really likes or dislikes. It's more of just like, it's okay, but I don't really like the format it's in, but I can kind of tolerate it. that's more or less exactly what's going on with this. I'm sure other people absolutely hate it. I'm sure some people absolutely love it. I'm kind of on the fence with it. Um, I have no structure to this. I'm just going based on what I know I like, dislike. Um, I know, at least in Cold War mode, I dislike the fact that the emblems and inscriptions seem to have like no structure to them. It bothers me because I'm a kind of a customization guy. I know it bothers me that some tanks, their camouflage is almost next to not even visible, depending on what you put on there. It's almost like a plastic model with a poorly painted paint on it, really bad. You know, it's like if it's about customization, you should be able to see the customization. And still going back to the emblems and inscription, if you noticed some of these tanks, you know, these emblems and inscriptions are in places where it's like you almost can't even see them, or you know, they're in stupid locations. I know one of them, I believe, I don't even know which tank it was. I remember, I swear to God I saw it. Might have been the T-55A. But anyway, it was like places where, you know, you'd have an emblem or inscription on the engine deck and a barely, like, where, you know, when you're playing, even in third person, you can barely even see it. And I mean, like, I guess another location would be like an emblem on the very front top of the turret, like right above the gun. You know, you can't see any of that. Like, what's the point of customization if you can't see any of it, or more importantly, your opponent can't see any of it? I'm sure that's why people put, you know, like the eyes and stuff on their tank, because they want to look weird or funny or scary when they are facing down an opponent. You know, I like the old system of just keep the emblems inscriptions on the cheeks and sides of the turret, or maybe the side of the hull, depending on if it's got side skirts and stuff. You know, other than that, you know, it's like don't put them in weird places. And obviously fix the camo so you can actually see the camo you apply, not, not make it weirdly sun faded where it's absolutely horrible and you can't even see it, and it's like, what's the point of camo? Another thing I know I absolutely hate is the blatant cash grab with the M48A5 skin that just was teased today at the time of recording this. That is a blatant cash grab if I've ever seen one, and that pretty much makes any other claim to other things being a cash grab debatable at that point, in comparison to the M48A5 hero skin just being recycled onto the M48A5. So with the STRVK skin being recycled onto the M48A5. So, I mean, again, it's mostly customization that I have a problem with, as well as the vision mechanic, but it's livable. Everything else, though, it doesn't seem to be a big deal, or I really want to see in World War II mode. But that pretty much does it for my reaction to this. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's got problems that I don't like. But, you know, do I feel like it's going to break the game? I don't really think so. It's too early to tell. But that does it for this video. I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this one, don't forget to subscribe. But until next time, this has been Darren of WoTC Academy.